Welcome to the 15th lecture of module 5 on mass transfer operation. In this module, we are discussing distillation operation. Before going to this lecture, let us have brief recap on our previous lecture. In our previous lecture, we have discussed introduction to the multi-component distillation, and we have discussed the number of tower required for multi-component distillation. Then we have considered design calculation methods for multi-component distillation. Another thing we have considered which is important in case of multi-component distillation, that is equilibrium in the multi-component systems. We have discussed the bubble point and dew point calculation. Multi-component flash distillation. Then we have considered concept of key components. And finally, we have discussed the minimum stages in multi-component systems. Now, in this lecture, we will consider minimum reflux, under which we will consider two important topics, its concept and then determination. Then we will discuss stages and reflux for a given separation. Particularly, we will consider the Gilliland plots. And finally, we will discuss in this lecture feed tray location. Now, minimum stages. As in binary distillation, the Fensky equation can also be used for multi-component systems to determine the minimum number of stages for a given separation at total reflux. Equation can be written for any two components. In general, apply the equation to the key components. So, better to use for the key components. The Fensky equation we can write using the key components and solve for the number of stages. So, the equation Fensky equation for multi-component systems we can write n minimum is equal to log x LD into D divided by x HD into D into x HW into W divided by x LW into W divided by log alpha L average. X LD is the mole fractions of light key in distillate. XLW is the mole fractions of the light key in bottoms. XHD is the mole fraction of heavy key in distillate. XHW is the mole fraction of heavy key in bottoms. Alpha L average, that is the mean relative volatility which is used when alpha is not constant. Normally a geometric mean value is the best options to choose. Following equations may be used. Alpha L average would be equal to root over alpha L D into alpha L W, which is equation 18. Once n minimum has been established, that is minimum number of plates, the same equation can be rearranged to determine split of the other components in the mixture as given below. That is X I D into D divided by X I W into W would be equal to alpha L average to the power n mean, minimum number of plates, into X H D into D divided by X H W into W. So, this is equation 9, by which we can determine the split of the other component in the mixture. Now, let us consider an example to calculate the minimum number of ideal plates. A mixture of hydrocarbons containing 32 mole percent N-hexane, 38 mole percent N-heptane and 30 mole percent N-octane is to be distilled to obtain a distillate product with 0.05 mole fractions of N-heptane and a bottom products with 0.05 mole fraction of the hexane. The column is operating at 1.2 atmosphere pressure. 40% of the feed is to be vaporized. Now, we need to calculate the product composition and the minimum number of ideal plates. Now, here for the flash distillation we have to define the key components and the non key components. So, let us define the key components. So, one is light key and we can call it LK, another is heavy key, we can call it as HK, and the third one is heavy non key and we can call it as HNK. So, this we can consider as N-heptane, N-hexane, this is N-heptane and this is N-octane. Now, assumption is that the first assumption is no N-octane in the distillate, and second assumption is that 0.95 mole fraction of N-hexane is in the distillate. Now, to solve this problem, let us assume basis or let us consider basis. that is 100 moles per hour of the feed rate. Now, let us do the overall mass balance. That is F is equal to D plus W, which is, as we have considered, the basis is 100 moles. So, this would be equal to 100. Now, if we do hexane mole balance, we can write F XF would be equal to D XD plus W XW, and if we substitute, this would be 100 into 0.32, which is equal to 0.95 into D plus W. From here we can write W is equal to 100 minus D. So, we can write 100 minus D into 0.05. So, this would be equal to 32 is equal to 0.95 D plus 5 minus 0.05 D, and from here we can write 0.9 D is equal to 32 minus 5, which is 27. So, from here we can write D would be equal to 27 divided by 0.9, which is equal to 30 mole per hour. Now, from the overall mass balance, we can calculate W would be equal to 100 minus D, which is equal to 100 minus 30, which is equal to 70 mole per hour. Now, the composition of the bottom product can be calculated using the conditions given. All normal octane, all but 0.05 D of the n-heptane, 0.05 mole fraction of n-hexane, so now we can calculate the compositions. Let us develop the table. So, each components F XF, D XD, XD, W XW, XW and Ki at 102.2 degree centigrade and 1.2 atmosphere pressure. So, what are the key components? Light key, heavy key and heavy non-key. Components is NC6, NC7, NC8. As per the fit conditions given, fit compositions, this is 32, this is 38 and this is 30. So, dxd we have calculated from the material balance equation, which is 28.5 for the light key, and then for the heavy key it is 1.5, since the heavy non key is only present in the bottom. So, its compositions in the distillate would be 0 and we know D is equal to 30. Now, XD is 0.95, that is for NC6. For the heavy key it is, that is NC7, NF10 is 0.05 and this would be 0. This NC8 in the bottom will be completely present, which was in the feed, which is 30, and WXW from the material balance we can calculate, which is 3.5 and this is 36.5. So, total W would be 70. Now, from here we can calculate, if we know WXW and W, then we can calculate XW. So, XW would be 0.05 for N hexane, for N heptane it would be 0.521 and for N octane it would be 0.429. Now, as we have seen, the Ki values at this temperature and pressure for these components is 2.08 and for this is 0.92 and for this component is 0.42. Now, use the Fensky equation to obtain the minimum number of plates. The relative volatility of the light key to the heavy key is the ratio of their K values. So, the relative volatility of the light key to the heavy key is the ratio of their K values. The K values at the flash temperature were obtained in the previous example. Which was shown in the last table. The alpha values, that is alpha Lk Hk, we can write 2.08 divided by 0.92, that is the heavy key. So, it would be about 2.26. Now, if we write n minimum, which is equal to log x L d into d divided by x h d into d into x h w into w divided by x L w into w divided by log alpha L average. So, which is equal to log x L d by x L w divided by x h d by x h w divided by log alpha L average. Now, if we substitute the values, it would be 0.95 divided by 0.05 divided log this divided by 0.05 by 0.521 divided by log 2.26. This would be equal to log 19 by 0.096 divided by log 2.26, which is equal to 5.288 divided by 0.815, which will give you 6.5. So, this n minimum, it includes the reboiler, which is 6.5. So, minimum number of ideal plates would be 6.5, or if we just subtract 1, that is the reboiler, it would be 5.5 number of ideal plates. This can be refined, or more accurate estimates we can obtain if we take the geometric mean in place of alpha L k H k. So, in place of this, if we consider geometric mean between the relative volatility at the top and the bottom, then we can obtain much accurate data for the minimum number of plates. Now, we will consider minimum reflux. Minimum reflux calculation are based on invariant zones around the feed where the composition stop changing. These are similar to the pinch point idea, which is used for the binary columns or binary distillation. One way to determine an approximate minimum reflux ratio is to represent a multi-component mixture as a pseudo binary system. This is done by creating a hypothetical feed made up of the two key components only. Then a McCabe-Thiele type construction can be used to determine the pinch and the minimum reflux. However, the accuracy of the approximation depends heavily on how large a portion of the material is made up of the pitch. Considering this limitation and the amount of work required to recast the calculation, other methods are usually preferred. As in the case of binary distillation, the minimum reflux ratio, that is Rm, is that reflux ratio which will require an infinite number of trays for a given separation of the key components. For binary distillation, only one pinch point occurs where the number of steps become infinite, and that is usually at the feed tray. For multi-component distillations, two pinch points or zones of constant composition occurs, one in the section above the feed plate and another below the feed tray. The rigorous plate by plate stepwise procedure for calculating R minimum is trial and error and can be extremely tedious for hand calculations. Often minimum reflux is estimated using Underwood method. Underwood method assumes equimolar overflow and defines relative volatility for each component relative to the some reference components, usually the heavy key, that is considered as reference component, and then the relative volatility for each components is defined. RM uses constant average alpha values and assumes constant flows in both the section of the tower, both in rectifying as well as stripping section. This method provides a reasonably accurate value. The two equations to be solved in order to determine the minimum reflux ratios, which are given below. 1 minus q is equal to summation over alpha I xif divided by alpha I minus theta. Another one is Rm plus 1 would be equal to summation over alpha I xid divided by alpha I minus theta. Here q is the fractions and theta is a parameter. The values of xid for each component in the distillate in equation 21 are supposed to be the values at the minimum reflux. As an approximation, the values obtained using the Fensky total reflux equation can be used. Since each alpha I may vary with temperature, the average value of alpha I to use in the preceding equations is approximated by using alpha I at average temperature considering the top and bottom of the tower. Now, to solve for Rm, the value of theta in equation 20 is first obtained by trial and error. So, this is equation 20, it is theta is obtained by trial and error in this case, and then that is put in the equation, next equation, that is equation 21 to calculate Rm. This value of theta lies between alpha value of the light key and the alpha value of the heavy key, which is 1. Using this value of theta in equation 21, the value of Rm is obtained directly. So, Rm equation is here and we can obtain Rm from this equation. The Underwood method assumes constant molar overflow and relatively constant relative volatility. These are the two major assumptions of the Underwood method. So, let us consider an example to solve the minimum reflux ratio problems. A mixture of hydrocarbon containing 5 mole percent N-pentane, 30 mole percent N-hexane and 55 mole percent N-heptane, 10 mole percent N-octane is to be distilled at 1 atmosphere pressure to recover 95% hexane and 2% N-heptane in the distillate. The liquid feed is at its boiling point. Now, calculate the minimum reflux ratio for this operation. The vapor pressure and the temperature data can be obtained from this figure. So, let us start the solution of these problems. Now, we need to define the key components. One is the light key, which is N-hexane, and the heavy key, which is N-heptane. The other components are sufficiently different in volatility to be distributed. Now, assume 100 moles of feed. We can summarize the known information in a tabular format. So, let us form the table. So, this is keys, then components, XF, FXF, DXD, XD, WXW and XW. So, keys are light key and heavy key. First, what are the components? We will write N-pentane C5, N-hexane C6, N-heptane C7 and N-octane C8. Now, we have defined this is the light key and this is the heavy key. Now, composition of the feed are given, that is 0.05, 0.30, 0.55 and 0.10. So, we can obtain, this is in feed we have considered 100 moles of feed. So, then F XF would be 5, this would be 30, this would be 55 and this would be 10. Now, dxd would be 5, this would be 0 because this is not distributed, and this would be 28.5 and this would be 1.1. Now, from this the total D is equal to 34.6, and then we can calculate the values of x d, which is 0.145, this is 0.823 and this is 0.032 and this would be 0. In the bottoms, this C5 being a lighter components than the light key, it will not be distributed in the bottoms or it will not present in the bottoms. So, it would be 0. So, its mole fractions would be 0 and this would be 1.5, this would be 53.9 and this would be 10. So, total W would be 65.4 and then we can calculate the XW, which is 0.023, 0.824 and 0.153. So, we need to know the fractional recovery equations, that is F R D is equal to fractional recovery of light key, then x d d into x d would be is equal to F R D light key into F x light key. So, this is the equations we will use later. Now, let us assume the bubble point. Which is equal to 80 degree centigrade. Now, we can calculate different k values component then K I at 80 degree centigrade, then K x f. So, we can just note it down the components, that is N C5, N C6, N C7, N C8. Now, K I at 80 degree centigrade we can get, from this we can obtain as 3.62, this is 1.39, 0.56 and 0.23. So, once we obtain the K values at 80 degree centigrade, we can calculate Kxf values, which is 0.181, 0.417, 0.308 and 0.023. So, if we sum them up, it would be 0.929. So, this is less than 1. So, let us assume a little higher temperature, assume higher temperature, say 85 degree centigrade. We can calculate Ki at 85 degree C, then Ki Xf and we can see the values. So, Ki at 85 degree centigrade would be 4.1, 1.7, 0.68 and 0.28. Now, if we multiply with Xf, it would be 0.205, this would be 0.510, this would be 0.374 and this would be 0.028. So, the sum of all these Kixf would be 1.117. So, which is greater than 1. The bubble point temperature is in between 80 degree centigrade and 85 degree centigrade, say 82 degree centigrade. Now, let us calculate Ki at 82 degree centigrade, which is 3.8 NC5. K values for NC5 is 3.8, for NC6 is 1.5 and for NC7 is 0.60 and for NC8 it is 0.25. Now, Ki Xi would be 0.19, 0.45, 0.33 and 0.025. So, if we sum them up, it would be 0.995. Hence, so this is close to 1, hence the bubble point temperature would be 82 degree centigrade. Now, by using Underwood method, K values at 82 degree centigrade are converted to relative volatility and the theta values between 1 and is found by trial. Since Q is equal to 1, as it is given the feed at its bubble point, that is feed at its bubble point. So, we can calculate summation over alpha I x I f divided by alpha I minus theta would be equal to 1 minus q, which is equal to 1 minus 1, which is equal to 0. Now, let us calculate all alpha values and obtain the table. Components alpha I x I f summation over alpha I x I f divided by alpha I minus theta. So, component is NC5, NC6, NC7, NC8. So, alpha values are 6.33, 2.5 for NC6, for NC7 1.0, for NC8 is 0.42. XIF is 0.05, 0.30, 0.55, 0.10. So, by trial and error, if we consider theta is equal to 1.62, by several trial you could see that it would be 0.0672, this would be 0.8533, this would be minus 0.8871, and this would be 0.035. So, this would be minus 0.0026. So, theta is 1.62 by trial and error. Now, as we know, Rm is equal to summation over alpha I x d by alpha I minus theta minus 1. So, now if we substitute, it is 6.33 into 0.145, which we have obtained earlier, divided by 6.33 minus 1.62, this is for pentane, plus 2.50 into 0.823 divided by 2.50 minus 1.62, this is for hexane, plus 1 into 0.032 divided by 1 minus 1.62 minus 1. So, we have not considered here the octane because it will not present in the distillate. So, this would give 0.195 plus 2.338 minus 0.052 minus 1, and this would be equal to 2.585 minus 1, which is equal to 1.585. So, this way we can calculate the minimum reflux ratio Rm using Underwood method. Now, stages reflux for a given separation. Number of stages at operating reflux ratio, Gilliland plots can be used to find the actual stages required for a given rate or vice versa. The plots relates two variables, one is x is equal to r minus Rm divided by r plus 1. R is the actual reflux ratio minus minimum reflux ratio divided by r plus 1, and y is equal to n minus n minimum divided by n plus 1. N is the number of trays and n mean is the minimum number of trays. X ranges from 0 at r is equal to r mean to infinity at n is equal to n mean. So, when r is equal to r mean, then x would be, you can see from this equation 22, x would be 0, and when n is equal to n mean, in that case it would be infinity, and in this case the y ranges from 1 at r is equal to r mean to 0 at n is equal to n mean. Now, fit tray location. Kirkbride has devised an approximate method to estimate the number of theoretical trays above and below the fit, which can be used to estimate the fit tray location. This empirical relation is as follows: log NR divided by NS is equal to 0.206 log XHF divided by XLF into W by D into XLF LW divided by XHD square. Here NR is the number of theoretical stages above the fit tray and NS is the number of theoretical stages below the fit tray. Thank you very much for your patience sharing, and we will finish our lecture for the mass transfer operation course in the next lecture. Thank you.